Nestled deep in the mountains, far from civilization, the Hollowbrook Hotel stands alone, shrouded in snow. Its isolation, once a refuge for those seeking peace, has become a prison for the unlucky few who enter. For the Reynolds family, the hotel's haunting history would soon trap them in a nightmare of their own making. Jack Reynolds, an aspiring writer, accepted the job of caretaker for the off-season, hoping the stillness would help him finish his novel. His wife, Wendy, was supportive, though she worried about the long, cold months in isolation. Their son, Danny, had other concerns. Danny wasn't like other children. He had a gift, the shining. He could see things others couldn't, glimpses of the past, whispers of the future, and something far darker hidden within the hotel's walls. As the family arrived, the hotel seemed to whisper in its own strange way. The air was thick with silence, broken only by the crunch of snow beneath their boots. At first, everything seemed normal. The vast, empty hotel was filled with echoes of laughter and joy from past seasons, but there was an underlying tension in the air. It felt as if the hotel itself was holding its breath, waiting for something. Danny began to see things almost immediately. Strange visions filled his dreams, shadowy figures lurking in the hallways, cold, lifeless eyes watching from behind walls, and whispers that seemed to come from nowhere. He could feel the hotel's darkness stirring, something ancient and hungry, waiting for the right moment to awaken. Meanwhile, Jack, distracted by his writing and frustrated by his lack of progress, began to feel a strange pull toward the hotel's history. He discovered an old journal hidden in the back office, belonging to the hotel's previous caretaker. The entries were erratic, filled with madness, death, and a creeping obsession with the hotel's power. The journal spoke of the voice, a malevolent presence that called to the weak-minded, urging them to kill. As winter settled in, the hotel became more oppressive. The isolation grew unbearable, and the once persistent sound of wind against the walls seemed to grow louder. Jack's temper began to fray. He had visions of the hotel's dark past, gruesome scenes of violent acts, blood-stained floors, and anguished cries. The more time Jack spent in the hotel, the more the voice began to speak to him. It promised him fame, success, and the adoration he'd always longed for if he only gave in to its desires. But with each passing day, Jack's grip on reality weakened. He became consumed with rage, jealousy, and madness. The hotel had found its victim. Meanwhile, Wendy tried desperately to hold her family together. She could see the changes in Jack, but every attempt to talk to him was met with anger and irrationality. As the snowstorm raged outside, trapping them in the hotel, Wendy feared for her son's safety and her own. Danny's psychic abilities grew stronger, but with them, the visions became more horrifying. One night, he had a dream of a bloody axe, the shadow of his father looming large, ready to strike. When he woke up, the house felt colder than ever. On the night of the storm's peak, Jack finally snapped. The voice had taken full control of him. He wandered the hotel, axe in hand, muttering about fame, about finishing the job. His eyes were wild, filled with a madness that had completely overtaken him. Wendy, realizing the danger, barricaded herself and Danny in their room. Danny, his psychic powers flaring, felt the presence of something far worse. An ancient evil bound to the hotel, feeding off of Jack's rage. He knew the only way to survive was to escape. But how? In a last-ditch effort, Wendy confronted Jack in the hotel's grand hallway. The man she loved, her husband, was gone, replaced by something twisted and malevolent. Jack advanced on her, axe raised. "You can't stop me," he snarled, his voice unrecognizable. "You're not part of this." "I am." But just as Jack was about to strike, Danny, using all his strength, reached out to the hotel's dark presence. In a terrifying moment of psychic power, he fought back against the entity controlling his father, forcing it to reveal itself. The hotel groaned in agony, its ancient energy being torn apart by Danny's will. With the hotel's grip weakening, Wendy and Danny escaped into the snowstorm. They didn't look back, running for their lives, knowing Jack, now fully lost to the darkness, was beyond saving. As they stumbled through the blizzard, the Hollowbrook Hotel stood silent behind them, its evil lingering, waiting for the next unsuspecting soul to wander in. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, follow, like, and share for more content like this.